Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the Shuffle Squad. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be covering over Lost Zone Box in our Paradox Rift format. Now, Lost Zone Box is kind of in an interesting spot because we've gained Jirachi in this set, and Jirachi says prevent all damage counters done to your benched Pokemon by your opponent's basic Pokemon. So basically hard countering Sableye in a way, but that also means that we still have Radiant Greninja that can go through that because that's damage, not damage counters. So your opponent would have to have a Manaphy and a Jirachi in play. Now, that's something that we could also play for Mirror ourselves. So if they don't run Jirachi, we might have a little bit of an edge. If they do run Jirachi, then we might have to play around a little bit differently. We got some cool new tools in this deck. And I do have to say, I did take a lot of inspiration from the Diff TCG on Twitter's list. So shout out to Sable. And change up a few cards that I thought were a little bit different, or cards that I like a little bit more. But yeah, go ahead, check them out on Twitter. And yeah, I think this is a really solid place to start with Lost Zone Box. So list is going to be available in the description. Shoot this video a like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff, and we'll jump into it, see exactly what we got going on. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Here we have it, Lost Zone Box in the Paradox Rift format. So a lot of the deck's going to be similar with Comfey, Colress, Sableye. A lot of the similar cards that we've had in a lot of the decks are going to be normal. And I mean, our whole strategy is going to remain the same of using flower selecting, and using Colress's experiment, getting cards in the Lost Zone, and also using Lost Vacuum to get some more cards in the Lost Zone as well, whether we're ripping our Forest Steelstone or our PokéStop in play. Now, where this deck might differ from other builds is that we're using Pidgeot V as our only Pokemon that can use Forest Steelstone, because Forest Steelstone you can only use on Pokemon V. We want to bounce the Pidgeot V back in the deck, so we don't really have any V attackers. We are now switching over to EX attackers. So Pidgeot V really seems to work well with a deck like this. Manaphy is really to prevent things like Radiant Greninja and Rapid Strike Urshifu, but really Radiant Greninja is going to be the card that we're going to be stopping as much as possible. Radiant Greninja is a card that we have that can knock out things such as Jirachi on our opponent's bench. It can knock out a couple Comfeys, it can knock out a couple whatever we want to. And it's going to be one of our big kind of attacks that we have in this deck. Now, one of the new cards that we've added into this deck is going to be Iron Valiant EX. I recently covered a deck profile on this the other day, but Iron Valiant EX allows us to, when we move from the bench to our active, we can put 2 damage counters on one of our opponent's Pokemon. We can also attack with it to do 200 damage using Mirage Gate to get some energies attached to it in play. Iron Hands is our other big one that we have. We could just knock out our opponent's active Pokemon and draw an extra prize card. So those are really going to be like the ones where we're able to go swinging. You might even be able to go turn 1 Iron Hands in the right circumstances. All you need is a couple of Mirage Gates. We have enough ways to get our energies back with Super Rod and Klara and stuff like that that we're generally chilling. Might want to have a 9th energy because devoting over half your energy or just half your energies to one Pokemon might be difficult, but we'll have to see how that goes. Jirachi is a card that I decided that I'd like to add in this deck, just because if you run into a Sableye mirror match of any sort, we are able to kind of slow down our opponent's Lost Mine and maybe just stop them from doing honestly, just like Lost Mine is something to have, and if we want to get rid of it, we can just get rid of it. That's fine. Just don't play it down or Lost Zone it with Lost Vacuum. Color's count's going to remain the same. Again, we're just trying to get cards in Lost Zone. I do like one Klara. I have seen lists that play Roxanne. I've seen lists that play Boss. But one thing that we can add into this deck, and that we have added into this deck, is a copy of Counter Catcher. So if we are behind on prize cards, which we can kind of change the pace of how we draw prize cards with Lost Mine. We don't necessarily need to be drawing prize cards right away. We could kind of target our Pokemon all at once. Counter Catcher does allow us to fall behind on prize cards, and we can kind of really knock something out with Iron Hands to steal the game or something like that. A lot of the rest of this deck is pretty standard when it comes to Lost Zone Box. Typical counts of Nest Ball, Battle VIP Pass, And again, like, I still think I might want to have one more energy, but right now I don't really see any issues when it comes to this list. Like, this list looks like it's like 90% of the way there, if not 98% of the way there. Like, we're really close to having an ideal list right off the hop. So that's really where I'd like to kind of like be like, yeah, you want to know what, we do have a really solid list when it comes down to it. Let's kind of roll with it. So if you're looking for some early playtesting when it comes to this deck, give this list a try. Like I said, the list is available in the description. You can copy and paste that right into PTCG Live once Paradox Rift comes out, or into Limitless Tabletop Simulator if you want to play with your friends right away. But right now, I think this is just a solid build when it comes to the deck. And that's what we got going on with Lost Zone Box today. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video, learning more about this deck. If you haven't played Lost Zone Box already, now's a really great time to get into it. There's a lot of really cool things that we just gained from Paradox Rift. If you are looking to counter this deck, Iron Hands is a pretty good start. Same thing with Iron Valiant EX. So check out any of the deck profiles that we might have covered on those decks previously on our channel. Once we get Paradox Rift, we're probably going to be starting to do some gameplay as of next week on the channel across the whole. So hopefully you enjoy that and anticipate all the great things coming up. A lot of the team is going to be heading to the Latin America International Championships, so we're all preparing all of our decks and figuring all that out. So stay tuned for a lot of great stuff. That being said, I will catch up with all y'all later. Peace out. Have a great one, and we'll stay tuned. We'll catch up with you for some more great content soon. Peace out and have a great one. Hey trainers, tired of having too many cards lying around? I know that feeling, and I know what a hassle it is to try and sell those cards. But selling bulk is now easier than ever with TCG Bulk. Find tons of potential buyers in a single place. You just download the app, look for the best buyer near you, and carefully pack your bulk, ship it, and you get paid. It really is that simple. Turn the cards you don't want into the cards you absolutely need for your next deck. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.